Hello everyone, welcome to the online tutorial for Vidya Bhavan Higher Secondary School. Today we are going to complete or will carry out the chapter 2, that is continuity of life. Previously we have done till the structure and functions of chromosome, the brief structure of DNA, RNA, nucleotide, nucleoside, the differences mainly euchromatin, heterochromatin. So these are the things that we cover up in our previous session. So today we will go on the roles of the cell organelles that they generally play during cell division. So what is cell division? Cell division means a cell at first gains maturity. It will at first become mature, or it will at first gain maturity. Okay, will grow in size, and then it will start to divide. That means at first it will gain in size, it will gain in volume, then by attaining the maturity it will start to divide. Understood? Why it will divide? To increase the number. That is, obviously if there is only one cell and if there is no increase as such, so the organism will not at all grow. So in order to grow, in order to develop, the cell needs to divide, and this process of division of the cell from one cell to multiple cells, it is termed as the cell division. Now generally the cell division of three types: mitosis, and meiosis. This will go on the further. At first we will see that what is cell. You people know that what is cell. Cell is something that is the building blocks of the life. We know that the building blocks of the house is the brick. Similarly, the cell is the building blocks of the life. It performs all the necessary activities of the cell. That includes excretion, respiration, circulation, everything which is being done by a living organism is actually being performed by the cell, no one else. Understood? That's why it is called as the building blocks of life. Now generally the cell is of two types. So what are they? The cell generally is of two types. In class 9 you have read it about that. What are the two types of the cell? They are mainly prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Now what is prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells? Prokaryotic, the term prokaryotic, the term pro means primitive, that means old. Understood? And karyotic is being termed or has been came from the word karyon. Okay, the word karyon means nucleus. That means two types of cells, pro and eu. Okay, prokaryotic means the cells which are having primitive type of nucleus. Understood? They do not have very well developed nucleus, they do not have any well developed cell organelles, they have primitive type of nucleus. Those are termed as prokaryotic cells. Now going to the eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic, the term eu means true. Understood? True cells. So what are these true cells? That means they are having true nucleus. That means well developed nucleus they are having, along with well developed cellular organelles. So this is the two types of the cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells examples are mainly bacteria and other primitive type of cells, generally bacteria. Eukaryotic means any kind of cells, like cells of the higher plants, cells of higher individuals, or most of the living organisms. So these are the cells of the eukaryotic. Now moving to our next topic is the cell organelles. What are cell organelles? These are some organelles or some structures which are required by the cell to carry out the process of the cell division. Mainly what are the examples of cell organelle? Ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, centrosome, etc. So cell organelles means that is, these are some specialized structures which are present within the cell organelles are present within, that means site of cell organelle. Site of cell organelle is cytoplasm. Understood. So these organelles or these specialized structures are present within the cytoplasm of the cell, and they mainly helps to carry out the function or the process of cell division. Understood. Now we will go in the brief role of the cell organelles that are generally having some important role during cell division. So first cell organelle is, it is not the organelle, it is a part of the cell. So first is the nucleus. Now what is its main role? That nucleus is having what? In the first we have learnt about it, chromatin network. Now what did we see? This chromatin network will transform into what? Into chromosome. Understood. Now what happens? These chromosomes are what? These chromosomes are shorter and thicker, whereas the chromatin network is longer and thinner. Okay, this chromatin network loses out its water and becomes fat and thick and giving rise to the chromosome. This chromosome apparently looks like this, right? Now what happened during cell division? Suppose this is the structure of the cell, and these are the chromosomes that are, these are actually the chromosomes situated at this region. So what will happen in the next region or in the next phase, that is this chromosome will actually separate out. So in this way it will actually separate out. See, it is actually separating. So in this way this chromatin network or the chromosomes will separate out, or will be moving to each of the poles of the cell. Understood? Thus dividing the nucleus into two halves. So in this way division of nucleus has been taken place. Next the cytoplasm will divide. Next organelle is centrosome, and microtubule. We have read about it in class 9 in the chapter of cell organelles, cell and cell organelles. What is this centrosome? We have read now that near the nucleus some barrel shaped structure is present. Now if we will cut this barrel shaped structure, what it looks like? It looks like a bullock cart, like this. It is having three regions, A, B and C. This C is connected with the next A by a linker portion. We have read about it in class 9. Now this is not the required structure that we need to know. The thing that we need to know is that microtubule and centrosome togetherly they form spindle fibers. Now what are these spindle fibers? Now let me get clear. This centrosome and microtubule are generally present in animal cells only. Plant cells do not have these centrosome and microtubule. If the plant cells are having the centrosome and microtubule, those are very few in number. Generally animal cells are having it. Now next is that what happens over here. See, this is the cell. So what are these spindle fibers? See, at first these are the phases of cell division: prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. So at first what happens? This is the general structure of the cell. The nucleus, within the nucleus the chromatin network is present. Now what will happen? This chromatin network in the prophase, what will happen? They will lose the water and become thicker and fatter. Okay. Now in the next phase you can see already chromosomes have taken place. Now can you see these circular things? These circular things, see, these circular things are nothing but the centrosome. they will actually form this spindle shaped, see these dotted lines, they are actually the spindle fibers. These are the threads which are produced from the centrosome, and these these spindle fibers are actually holding this chromosome. See, each of these chromosomes are being holded by these spindle fiber which are formed from this centrosome. See, both of them. Now moving to the next phase, what will happen? These chromosome will move towards the poles. Now why they will move towards the poles? Certainly because of this shortening of these spindle fibers. Okay, the spindle fiber will get shortened enough, and thus it will drag these chromosome towards the poles. This is the anaphase. Now coming to the last phase, that is telophase. See, you can see that chromosome has already moved apart from each other and already has transported towards the polar regions, and you can also see that the chromosomes are now not fatter and thicker. They have already lost the water and they become the structure of the chromatin network. Okay, now they have already formed. See, these are the two nucleus they have already formed. Understood? During the telophase. Now what will happen? They will now division of nucleus is complete. Now the cytoplasm will actually divide and it will form the next cell. So till this much it is clear. Now moving on to our third topic. So third cell organelle is the ribosome. Now you will tell me that why is it required? Why this ribosome is required for cell division? You know, for any kind of physiological process or biochemical process, the proteins are highly required. Now these proteins are formed from where? From this ribosome. Ribosome is actually the organ who actually helping in protein synthesis. So that is why during cell division also huge amount of proteins are required. Understood? And for this protein production, ribosomes are required in a huge amount. Now moving on to our fourth point, that is the mitochondria. Now, do you know what is mitochondria? Obviously, you people know what is mitochondria. What is the other name of it? That it is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Why? Why it is called the powerhouse of the cell? Because it generates ATP. ATP is what? It is an energy-rich compound. Now, why this mitochondria is necessary? Because during cell division huge amount of energy is required. The cell prepares itself for the division. Okay, and for this process huge amount of energy is required. And who will give us this energy? None other than mitochondria. So these are the four cell organelles. They are actually playing a huge role during cell division. Now we will move on to our next topic. So let's focus on the next topic. So moving on to our next topic, that is the cell division and its significance. What do you mean by the term significance? Significance means importance. That means what is the importance of the cell division? Why the cell needs to divide? Because just think, how are we being formed? Fusion of sperm and ovum, right? Fusion of sperm and ovum gives rise to what? The zygote. Zygote is what? It's an unicellular structure, right? Zygote is the first form of the cell, right? Now from this zygote, the zygote divides continuously and rapidly, and thus giving rise to different phases, and ultimately gives rise to embryo. Now these embryo will do what? It will also develop by dividing the number of cells, right? And ultimately it will take the form of a fetus, that is a baby, and the baby will take birth, and then after that also the baby will start to grow in size, will develop its organ, will develop its cell, its organ, its bones, everything. All things will develop. Now why they will develop? Because of the cell division. So cell division is something that helps an organism to develop. So cell division is the thing that from a mother cell or from a parent cell, the parent cell will gain its maturity, will accumulate the volume, will accumulate the proper size and shape, and ultimately it will divide to form what? To form the daughter cells. Understood? Here you can see see, this is the mother cell, right? 2n, 2n represents 46. That means 46 is what? 46 is the number of chromosome in the human body. You can see from this is the mother cell, right? From this mother cell, the mother cell actually divides and form these two daughter cells. Okay, those are also 2n, 2n in number. Now these daughter cells will again further divide. You can see this daughter cell divide to form two daughter cells, 2n, 2n. Again these daughter cell will again divide to form two more daughter cells. Understood? So this is also 2n, 2n. So this is the process of cell division. Understood? So till this much I think you are having no problem. Now moving on to the next topic. Now moving on to the significance of the cell division. First of all, what is the first importance of cell division? Obviously growth and development. See, growth and development. Understood? So growth is the first significance. Number 2, reproduction. Why reproduction? Because the gamete cells, those are being formed due to cell division, they are helping in the reproduction process. Number 3, repair. If any tissue is got injured or you are being injured, so those tissues will not repair. Obviously they will repair. By the process of what? By the process of this cell division. So these three are the importance of the cell division. So I think till this much you are having no as such problem. Now we will mainly go to the types of cell division. Now these are the types of cell division. First type is amitosis. Amitosis is also called direct cell division. Now why it is called direct cell division? Because there is no spindle fiber formation. No spindle fiber formation is taking place in the amitosis. Now what is spindle fiber? The thread-like structures, those are coming out of the centrosome, pulling the chromosomes apart from each other, taking them towards the poles. Those are the spindle fiber. But in amitosis, no spindle fiber is taking place. That means the cells divide automatically. That means this amitosis example is amoeba. How the amoeba divides? Have you remembered? What is the shape of the amoeba? It's irregular shaped, right? What will happen in the next step? See, the nucleus starts to divide. See, have you seen any spindle fiber over here? No. That means the nucleus is starting to divide directly without the formation of the spindle fiber. That means, see, the body of the amoeba is actually getting very narrow. Okay, producing the cleavage. That's why it is dividing. Now next is that what will happen? Two nucleus will be formed within the amoeba. See, division of nucleus already taken place. Now next step, this amoeba will actually divide. Got it? See, one amoeba ultimately divides to form two daughter amoeba. So this is an example of direct cell division. That means amitosis. No spindle fiber formation is taking place. Next, coming to the mitosis. Mitosis is called as equational division. It is termed as equational division. It is generally found in the cells of the body, like kidney cells, liver cells, or any kind of cells of the legs, hands. Over here the mitosis division is being found. Now why it is qualitatively and quantitatively same? See, the mother cell comprising of how many chromosome? 2n, that is diploid number. Now this mother cell will divide into two daughter cells, right? Now the two daughter cells which are being formed, they will also have the same chromosome number. You see, the mother cell was 2n, the daughter cells are also 2n, 2n. That means they are qualitatively and quantitatively same, and that is why it is termed as equational division. That means equal. Both the mother and the daughter cells are equal in number of chromosomes. Understood? That is why mitosis is called equational division. Now coming to the next thing, that is the meiosis. Meiosis is called reductional division. Now, why it is called reductional division and where we can find this type of division? Mitosis, we are finding this type of division in generally the cells of the body. And meiosis, we can find this type of division in the gamete cells, or you can say the germ cells. Right? Now what happens in the meiosis? Now you can see the meiosis division. At first the 2n cell, or that is the you can say the diploid cell of any of the individual, that can be female or can be male, will undergo first meiotic division, that is M1, meiosis 1, understood, and will produce two daughter cells of 2n 2n equally. Now these daughter cells will again divide, okay, but this time they will not produce diploid cells, they will produce 4 haploid cells. See, 2n, the number has got reduced, n, over here also n. This second step is called meiotic 2 division. So in the meiotic 2 division, the haploid cells are being formed from the diploid parent cells. So that is why it is called reductional division. Why reductional? See, the main parent chromosome, so over here 46 chromosomes were present, now 23. Each of them will have 23. Understood? So from these 46 chromosome, this 46 chromosome has been reduced, or you can say the diploid cells is being reduced to haploid number. So that is why it is called reductional division. Understood? Got it? Now moving on to our next topic is cell cycle. What is cell cycle? The cyclical event of the division of the cell is called cell cycle. That means how the cell actually prepares itself for division, and next what are the phases of the division of the cell is represented in a cyclical manner. That is termed as the cell cycle. Now the cell cycle is generally having two main divisions. What are the two divisions? M phase or mitotic phase, another one is interphase. Previously this interphase was termed as resting phase, but it was now being corrected. This is not the resting phase. Then what is it? It is the preparatory phase. Preparatory. What is this preparatory phase? What does it mean? It means that the cell this time is actually preparing itself for what? For the cell division. So interphase is the preparatory phase. So at this point of time the cell actually prepares itself for the further cell division process. After interphase, what is the next phase? Is the M phase or the mitotic phase. In this phase the cell actually divides. Okay, so let us go at first to the preparatory phase or the interphase. So what are the three main phases of this preparatory phase or interphase? G1, S and G2. G1 is gap 1, gap 1 phase. S means synthetic phase, gap, and G2 means is gap 2 phase. So during G1 phase, what is the main function, or what is the main work of this G1 phase? So what happens in this G1 phase? G1 phase, over here the cell prepares itself for the division. That means it starts to accumulate the DNA, RNA, protein, starts to gain in size, starts to prepare itself for the further division. Next is S phase. What is the S phase? The term S phase means synthetic phase. Over here what is happening? The cell continues the synthesis of what? Of DNA and protein and other things, so that the cell can accumulate huge amount of the DNA and the required proteins. And the third stage is the G2 phase. In this phase the synthesis of the proteins and the DNA continues, so that the next step is the M phase. Now the cell will enter into the phase of division. Got it? So the next topic is that the M phase. So coming to the M phase, the first phase is prophase. I have drawn you over this diagram. See, in the prophase what is happening? The nuclear membrane will disappear and this chromatin network will gain in size. Okay, it will condense to form chromosome. Next, in the metaphase, what will happen? These chromosomes will be arranged equatorial in the equatorial region, holded by the spindle fiber which are formed from the centrosome. Understood? Now, these chromosomes are being arranged at the equatorial plate. Moving to the next phase, that is the anaphase. These these chromosomes will be pulled towards the poles by this spindle fiber, and these chromosomes will ultimately move apart towards the poles. Understood? And the fourth phase is the telophase. Over here what will happen? These chromosomes will actually going into the polar region and will ultimately dehydrate themselves and will take the shape of the chromatin network and will form two distinct nucleus. Now the next process will start, that is the cytokinesis. Division of nucleus is called karyokinesis. Division of cytoplasm is called cytokinesis. Karyokinesis, division of nucleus. Cytokinesis, division of cytoplasm. So till this much I think you are having no problem. So cell division, cell cycle, that means the events of the cell division are being represented in a cyclical manner. This is termed as the cell cycle. Now moving on to the checkpoints of the cell cycle. Now cell cycle is a process. Now every process will can go wrong, right? Now who will be there to monitor that these processes are going right or wrong? There are these checkpoints of the cell cycle. These are the security guard of the process. Understood? They actually see that whether these process is going right or wrong. There are three checkpoints within this cell cycle. Where are they? First checkpoint is G1 and S, in between G1 and S. Second checkpoint is in between G2 and M. That means in between gap 2 and mitotic phase. Third checkpoint is in the metaphase. So these are the three checkpoints of the cell cycle. First one G1 and S, second G2 and M, third within the metaphase. They actually see whether this process is going on correctly or not. If any wrong, that means if the cell divide in any wrong manner, then they will either destroy the cell or it will repeat the process again. And if these checkpoints are not working properly, then what will happen? These will lead to the formation of an abnormal cell, that is tumor. The formation of the abnormal cell. Okay, if these checkpoints are not working properly, that means wrong cell or the abnormal cell will be produced, which is nothing but in our language what we call them? Tumor. Tumor is of two types. What are they? Benign and malignant. Two types of tumor are there: benign tumor and malignant tumor. So benign is a non-cancerous tumor. Non-cancerous means they will not produce any cancer. Okay, that means these tumors do not spread from one region to another region. But malignant tumor is cancerous tumor. That means it will spread from one region to another region. Suppose I am telling one part of an organism, like you can say that a part of the stomach is being infected or is being infected by the malignant tumor. Now what will happen? The cells of this malignant tumor will actually travel from their stomach to, suppose, liver, infecting the liver. That means in the liver also the cancerous cells has gone and it has been spread. this will rise to the cancerous cells or production of the malignant tumor in the liver also. So in this way the entire body of that living organism will be affected by this malignant tumor. So two types of tumor, benign and malignant. Benign is non-cancerous, malignant is cancerous. Now our next topic is that apoptosis. What is this? Is a one mark question. What is apoptosis? The death rate of the cells are termed as apoptosis. Understood? So moving on to our next topic, that is the mitosis. Mitosis, I have explained a little bit earlier that it's an indirect form of cell division. It's an equational cell division. That means from the mother cell, the equal number of daughter cells with the equal number of chromosomes are being formed. That is why it is called equational division. Right? It is also having 4 phases: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and ultimately they are going to the cytokinesis part. So this is the thing. So we will mainly discuss over here the 4 stages or the 4 phases of the cell division. First stage is the prophase. This is the initial phase of the cell division. Now what is happening over here? First of all, the nuclear membrane and the nucleolus of the cell will disappear. Okay. Now leaving behind only the inner content of the nucleus, that means the nucleoplasm and the chromatin network. Now next, what will happen in the prophase? These chromatin network will getting dehydrated itself and thus leads to the chromosome. Okay, that means the formation of the chromosome has already taken place in the prophase along with the disappearance of the nuclear membrane and the nucleolus. Now moving to the next phase, that is the metaphase. Meta means middle. That means in the middle, that means in the equatorial region of the cell or in the middle line of the cell, what will happen? The chromosomes will be arranged in the equatorial plate by the help of the spindle fiber. This will look to us that it is forming a diamond shaped structure. The spindle fiber along with the chromosome will appears to us that it is a diamond shaped structure. Okay, so this is the metaphase. Third phase is the anaphase. That means during this phase, these chromosomes will move apart from each other towards the poles, leading to the formation of the two nucleus. And ultimately in the telophase, what will happen? These chromosomes will go towards the poles apart from each other and will ultimately form the nucleus. Two nucleus, and in the telophase, what will happen? The next thing, that is the reappearance of the nuclear membrane and the nucleolus will be occurring. So this is the 4 stages of the cell division. Now we will go to the cytokinesis process. What is cytokinesis? I have told you that karyokinesis means division of the nucleus and cytokinesis means division of the cytoplasm. Now division of the cytoplasm is different in cases of plant and animal cells. Now we will see how it is different in cases of plant and cells. So the cytokinesis in plant cell looks generally like this. What is happening over here? We will see that in the plant cell, who is mainly which organelle is actually helping in the division of the plant cell or plant cytoplasm. That organelle is called Golgi body. Understood? What is happening? The Golgi body release some vesicles called phragmoplast, and those vesicles are being deposited at the middle of the cell. Now this deposition gets wider and getting bigger and ultimately reaches to the periphery, thus forming a cell plate at the middle of the cell, thus dividing the cell into 2 cells. So mainly the plant cell divides by the formation of cell plate, and this is done by whom? By the Golgi body. Understood? Now we will move on to the animal cell. Moving on to the animal cell, what we will see the animal cell with 2 nucleus has already been formed. That means the karyokinesis is over. Now you can see at this portion the cell wall is being constricted towards the middle. That means it is forming cleavage or invagination. Okay, that means formation of cleavage or invagination actually helping the cell wall to move into the inner side. See, the next step, the cell wall is going more to the inner side, and ultimately it going at the most inner level, and thus dividing the cells into two cells. Understood? So these animal cells are being divided, or the cytokinesis of animal cells are being primarily done by the formation of cleavage or by the process of invagination. So this leads to the completion of this chapter. Now we will next do the question answers of the chapter in the next video. So till today, thank you.